Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY rustic country quilted ornament. And you're going to need a foam ball. These ones are from the 99-cent only store. You're going to need some fabrics or scraps. You're going to need a piece of jute, this thing that you do gluing with, and two things that you use for the other stuff. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is determine what fabrics you want to use. Just cut a little section of each. And the other thing that you're going to need that I didn't mention is some sort of like an old club card or old credit card, or those things you get in the mail. Sometimes the pre-approved credit card things. Those would be perfect because you're going to kind of need something flat to push in some different fabrics. So I'm just cutting some random shapes and sizes. And then what we're going to do is, again, find whatever you need. I wanted to share with you, though, that this would be very cute if you had like a nostalgic, like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of Grandpa's old shirts, like his old flannel shirts, or something sentimental. You can definitely do it with those, your school colors, anything that you want to, to keep as a memory, you definitely can do. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this like a globe, and we're going to go and cut lines of longitude. I think latitude, I don't know. We're going to go from the North Pole to the South Pole. And I'm dissecting this in 8 sections. And we're not going to cut it entirely in half. We're just going to run that X-Acto thing from like in to make a groove. And from the North Pole to the South Pole and around that way, we're going to go all the way in continuous circles. But when we go across the other direction, we're going to stagger it almost like bricks. And not even exactly like bricks. We're going to make each section sort of individual. So it gives that piecemeal type stuff. But if you are a person who likes a precision quilting pattern, then go ahead and just go straight across when you go ahead and cut those across lines, okay? I can't remember. Is it longitude or latitude? I think latitude goes horizontal. I don't know. All of a sudden, I just can't remember my geography. Is that geography? I think it is. Okay. Anyhow. So, what I wanted to share with you, too, is that I didn't show you Aleene's tacky glue, which I'm actually going to use the Aleene's tacky glue. And I'm just going to use that other stuff to put the pin in, the hot glue to put the pin in, and to do any touch-ups that you might have, missed. And you'll see what I talk about in a minute. But this, once you have this part done and the hot glue pin put in, this is entirely 100% a kid-friendly project. As you can see here, I'm cutting across, and I'm staggering the sections because I like that look. I like that like rag quilt. So see, you can see here that I went in different directions this way, but there I pieced up almost like a brick pattern. Nothing really lines up. Reminds me of the Death Star. But I like that haphazard pattern. But if you like a pattern in your quilts, you can go ahead and go line straight across in the other direction. You don't have to section it like I did. And I'm just going to start up at the top. I'm going to pull the thread. Oh, actually, did I start at the bottom? Well, you're going to start at one of the points. And what you're going to do is you're going to find a piece that will fit the section. And you want to make sure that the piece is bigger than the section by at least 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch really. Because once you tuck it in, you're going to need some extra room to tuck it in. So you want to make sure that you have about the same shape, but you want it to be bigger. You want to lay a bead of glue down over the whole space, and then you're going to use your credit card, debit card, or whatever it is that you're using to tuck in all of the areas that you created the groove. Okay? And this whole project is just that simple. It's just like a mosaic or putting together a puzzle. You design on the fly. I try to make sure that 2 of the same materials were not next to each other, or if they were, almost barely shared a corner. But again, that's up to you. That's 100% up to you and your design. And we're just going to go around the entire thing, and we're going to repeat the process. So there's a couple of tips that I'm going to share with you while you're watching me do this. One of them is, if for some reason you tuck in the right side too much, it'll pull out the left side, or top and bottom, like the same sort of situation. So you can just pull the whole piece back out and redo it. Now, there were a couple of times where I actually had done this and didn't realize that the fabric had pulled out until it was all done, and I went back to go inspect it. And then I went ahead and I fixed that with the hot glue. So again, you said if you have your kids do this project with you, you can always touch it up for them. And then there's another option, which I did not choose to do, but quilting does have thread. So one of the things that I thought would be cute, that when you're all done with this, if you glued some jute in the seams, quote unquote seams, of the quilt, would also look really cute. Or you took some embroidery floss or any sort of thin string like that. I think that would look very cute. Oh, excuse me. So, as I was saying before, a nostalgic fabric for some reason would look really cute. Before my dad passed away, actually quite a few years before he passed away, he was always a plaid shirt kind of guy. He was plaid flannels, and he was plaid dress shirts during the year. And when I belonged to Homemakers of America, I made me and all my sisters a penguin. And I took a piece of his shirt that he had that was no longer any good, and I found 4 or 5 good strips of fabric that I used to make the scarf on the penguin, so that as long as each person still kept their penguin, they had a piece of Dad with them. So when my inspiration for this was, this would be really cute along the same concepts. If you got this, and then another project that I'm going to see, you guys will see the rag bowl as well. You could use some nostalgic old grandpa shirts or grandma's nightgowns or grandma's flannels or whatever materials you like. Maybe grandma had a favorite dress that got all raggy, but she didn't want to get rid of it. That kind of stuff. Scraps from her favorite quilt. Maybe she's got a scrap basket. As you can see when I was cutting in the beginning, that these are all like leftover pieces. There's not tons of yardage on each one of the pieces that I got, but they do coordinate because they're all in the red and white and ivory family. So I'm just going to go along, and like I said, making sure to not try to match any 2 areas of fabric. Now, at some points I found that I had to cut, like once I stuffed all of the sides in, I actually had too much bulk, so I cut away some of the bulk and then I tucked in the rest. And then be mindful that sometimes when you tuck in an adjacent fabric or an adjoining fabric, then you might actually pull, and that's what happened why I had to go back with glue, is when I went to go tuck in a piece next to a piece that was already tucked in, I ended up pulling it away from its other side. So be mindful when you do that. Hold the piece down while you push the fabric in so you're not accidentally pulling the fabric along the way. And one of the things that I didn't mention is I'm using just a small candle jar from the Dollar Tree to keep the bowl up. You want to be able to put it on something like a cup or something so it doesn't keep rolling over on you. If you just work on the flat table surface, it will just keep rolling away from you and it will get so annoying. Also, especially if you do these with the kids, you probably will get some glue. Now, the glue will dry clear. However, you still may see pieces of glue. So when you're all done, an option is you can brush this entire thing with Aleene's tacky. It will give it a protective coating. It'll keep it from falling apart on you over the years. But it would also help eliminate like where might have been fingerprints. However, I personally, when you do it with the kids, find that stuff endearing. I love when kids color outside the lines, because then you can look back at it when they're 30 and say, look, remember when you used to color outside the lines? But that's just me. I realized just now that I didn't tell you about the pin in the beginning. Sorry, bear with me. So what I did was I got T-pins from the Dollar Tree. I took a piece of red jute, made my hanger, which is just a loop of fabric with a knot on the end. I took the T-pin, I stuck it in the knot, and I put a little hot glue on the end, and then stuck it in one end of the styrofoam ball. Like I said, these are about 4-inch styrofoam balls from the 99-cent only store when I was in Texas. I do not have a 99-cent only store by me, and it makes me sad. But you can get these size balls at Walmart and Michael's and all different places. But I have not found this size ball at the Dollar Tree in a very, very long time. So then we're just going to continue to go around. And I don't know if you could see that trick, but I have a little disposable cup I keep the Aleene's tacky glue point side down. It definitely does save so much time of having to wait till the glue comes back to the point. And this bottle is almost empty, so I'm really utilizing like every last drop. But that's a good tip with the kids. You don't want to do this with an Elmer's glue or a school glue because it's too runny and it will run all over the bottom of the glass. But this is definitely a great tip for working with Aleene's tacky. Okay? The hanger. Oh, and at the very end, I'm going to put a jute bow on it, and that is 100% completely optional. That's up to you guys what you want to do. I wanted to just cover the top of the T-pin a little bit better than it was. I wasn't able, or I shouldn't say that. When I went to go cover it with fabric, the fabric got pulled out, and then you could see more of the T-pin. So I just figured throw a cute little jute bow on there, and it'll jazz it up as well. And I'm just using 2 strings of the jute, and that's it. And I'm just going to hot glue it right on the pin, and there you have it. So I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to share this video with friends and family, anybody you know might be interested in making one of these ornaments. And you know what's really cute? Hang a little gift tag on there with the year and the date, who it's to and who it's from, so that they'll always have that as part of their gift. And of course, you want to create a tag letting everybody know where the fabric came from if it's sentimental, so they have it forever. And as always, take care. God bless. See you next time. Bye.